Okay, welcome to part 4 of basic physics in video games. So when we left off, we just got some friction in so that he can walk and then slow down and not slide like he's on ice forever. And now, just want to make him jump. I just want to jump. And so let's think about this. This is easy to answer if you think about it. What is jumping? You're jumping, you spring your legs and you sort of launch yourself into the air, and then gravity takes over and you fall back down. What is that? It's an impulse. It's a one-off force that's applied because once you've jumped, you are now airborne and you can no longer apply upward force. Gravity is now taking over and it takes your velocity and slows it down and then returns you back to Earth eventually. If you're a rocket, you could continue to apply force, and you could well do if I turn the gravity off in this. And you can have a rocket and continue to apply the force, and you get faster and faster, overcome gravity, and keep going. But this is a once-off force. So what we're going to do is we're going to make it so we just get that one shot of velocity, set it to a high value, and then, we can make him into a rocket ship for a bit. Let's just put into... It'll be fun. Like, you could make a lander game like this. This is what's so great about this thing. You can do whatever you want. All the arcade games, you want to sort of do a, lander. Wait, left, right, up. There we go. You notice I've got comments here. It's always good to comment your code. Y-vel plus equals some value that we're just going to try out. So let's see what happens when we press up. We're not allowed to. You know why? I know why. It's the way we're doing this overly simplistic way where... Oh no, I've already got it there because I actually had to edit this before the video. But that was part of the reason. If y velocity is... plus equals 1. Okay, so let's just put that not there because I was doing some experimenting. Yes, plus 1. If 0 is up here and 128 is down here, if we're adding, we're going down. That's not what we want because we're going to try and move through the floor. I should have said -1 from velocity. Okay, now, oh, here we go. Whoa, he's a rocket. Come down, come back. Where'd he go? Oh, there he is. But now that I'm on the ground, I'm stuck there forever, and that is this little fix that I did earlier. You see this overly simplistic way where... Let's do that again, it's fun. Whoa. Oh, it's a rocket. See? But he's fighting gravity, so it's like the lander game, the old land... You don't know that. Google it. You're too young. Alright. Okay. Now, this is pretty much... But I'll show you again. You land on the ground and you're stuck. Because of this simplistic way we're doing this, we're basically checking below... And if we find ground, we set him to the right level. But then we just nuke all y velocity. Even if you want to move up, you can't leave the ground because it goes, no, you're on the ground, we're setting it to 0. That's not good. So we just need to put an additional check in that if you're on the ground and if your y velocity is trying to head down, that is, it's above 0. So I'll put that and. Right. Now that shouldn't kick in. If we're on the ground and we want to go up, way, there we go, we can go up like the Dickens. But we're going up way too fast. And it's because it's a continual force. As long as I hold the button, he's allowed to, apply the upward force. Well, some game engines allow you to detect on button press. You can press it and then you'll get a force, but what happens when you're still in the air and you press it again? You can like double, triple, quadruple, quintuple jump. So jump, 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 jump. See, I can keep jumping in the air. I just have to press it rapidly and I'm getting the same result. So instead of button P, we'll just take that back because it's kind of useless. What we really want... Now, what are the rules for jumping? What's the problem here? I'm on the ground and I jump. Whoa. But I'm allowed to go press up again. Press up. I'm allowed to jump in the air. What's wrong with that? Like we said before, when you jump, you leave the ground, you can no longer apply that force. So what's the criteria? You've got to be on the ground to jump. So before we do this, before we apply the jump velocity, which is a number right now, jump vel. Let's put it up here. Jump vel, which is probably a little higher right now. Before we go ahead and apply this, we have to also check if you're on the ground. We're already doing that check here, if you're on the ground. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a new variable called OnGround equals false. It starts out as false. It's a Boolean. It's true or false. It starts out as false, and what we do is before we check if we're on the ground, we just set it to true, like we're assuming. No, we set it to false, because we're going to assume you're not on the ground until we check, and if you are, then we say set it to true. So effectively what that does, it assumes you're not on the ground all the time, it checks until you are. And so it sets it to true, and then as this loop round and comes back here and runs the code again, that's going to be on ground true or false depending on this outcome. So until we come back to here again, set it to false, check, and either set it to true or leave it. So that's how we toggle that on ground on and off. So now I can go if press the button to and on ground. See how it reads nicely if you name your variables? Oh goodness, on ground. Have a drink. If press the jump button and on the ground, then we can jump. Let's go. Let's see if this works. Boing, boing. Okay, I'm going to press it. He's only jumping when I'm pressing. Okay. The other side effect though is if I hold it, he kind of bounces on the spot. As soon as he touches the ground, he's up again. So we'll fix that later. But it's not really kind of pathetic jumping. Should we add more jump strength or should we decrease gravity? Well, it all depends. Let's boing. That's pretty high. Boing, boing. You know, it's very moon jump, like very. I like the height, but it's like he's on the moon. And that's because everything's very low values. Gravity's low, jump velocity's low. So we'll just kick up the gravity. And obviously then we won't be able to jump very high because our jump strength's very weak. But notice how much faster he's moving. So we'll just put the jump strength up a bit. Boing, boing. So he's moving faster now. That's a bit more. I like that a bit more. So we got jumping, we got friction. By the way, the friction works in the air, but that's kind of the way platform games work. You kind of have your air control there, so that's kind of fine. We got collision, we got gravity, we got, you know, and the only thing left here is this little glitch he does when he sort of half goes through the ground and then realizes he shouldn't be in the ground and then goes back up in the next frame. So I'm just going to change the order we do things in here. I'm going to apply the velocity and then check for collision. And that seems to have solved the problem. I was honestly expecting to do a bit more work than that. But yeah, there's no exact one fits all. Fell off. Fits all solution to the basic premise is the same, but the details are in the order you do things in, and how you check for collision and how you resolve when there is a collision to snap back to the surface. And that's all, you know, that can be different depending on the kind of game you're doing or what engine you're using and all that stuff. But the concept's all the same. And so he's done. This is fine. I think we're good. The only thing we can do next is maybe have some other kinds of platforms and some other kind of collisions. So I think I'll leave it there for now. And let me know if you'd like to see more. Look out maybe for part 5 where we add some actual... So I'll show you what happens. I'll show you what happens if we just add... We haven't done enough work yet to, you know, do what you see in Mario. Let's see what happens, okay? It would kind of work. Ready? I can jump up. No... I can't seem to land... Oh, I can land on him. I have no idea why that's not working. No idea. Oh, there we go. Oh, okay. Right. Yes. It's testing... It's using his top left corner, which is not good. So I can walk off the edge to that edge. But if I let my top left corner go off the edge of the block, he just falls. And that's why there's another step to do if we want actual platform collision. We have to actually check like a box around him to make sure that doesn't happen. The other thing is you can jump up straight through, which is fine if you want kind of platforms where you can jump through them like that, but that's, you know, not happening. We don't have any walls happening, so we just walk through. Because we're only checking down. So if you want to, you know, this kind of physics, super simple if you want to do like a space game or something where you're just shooting things and you're just detecting for collision. When you want to do platform collision, you start having to add a few extra checks to make sure they're sort of solid and square. So we're going to do that in the next part. So I'll see you in part 5.